2017 NFL preview for the Philadelphia Eagles. Going into their offseason, what were their big needs?
Well, they went 7-9 last year, so they needed to upgrade, a lot of aspects of their team. They spent a lot of draft capital to get Carson Wentz, who had a pretty decent year at the quarterback position.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
But the main thing they needed to do is add some weapons for him, specifically at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, last year their wide receivers were just pretty much awful. I mean, so many drop passes. If you're expecting Carson Wentz to progress in his second year, you needed to add more weapons around him. And that's pretty much exactly what they did.
Yep. Jordan Matthews was their number one wide receiver last year. And, he's a solid player. But
he was consistent.
He's not a guy you necessarily want to build around, so they need to upgrade there.
Yeah.
Another thing to upgrade was the running back position. They went, running back by committee last year. Ryan Matthews was kind of the number one guy, kind of not, kind of injured like he always is.
Yeah, he always gets injured. So, he had a few big games last year, but he was really inconsistent. They used Darren Sproles more than he's ever used in his career. He had 94 total carries. I think they really like him. He's a really good receiving back. Obviously, he's not like a feature back. They used him a lot.
You can't use him as that anyway, otherwise he's just not going to hold up. But
exactly.
Darren Sproles is a special playmaker, but they need to get a workhorse type of guy for Carson Wentz in that offense to really help him, really keep the pressure off of him going through this season.
Yep.
And, another need for them is the quarterback position. You look at their defense, they have a great front seven.
Oh, yeah.
They have, pretty good safeties. Malcolm Jenkins there.
Yeah, he's good.
The safety position. Their quarterback position is a huge weak spot for them, though, so they really need to upgrade that in order to become an elite defense, I think.
Yeah, well, transitioning from offseason needs to free agency, this team was really active in free agency. They had lots of additions, lots of departures. We'll start with the departures. They ended up losing defensive end Connor Barwin. And this is a guy that's really been around for a long time. Eagles fans loved him. He played really hard. He didn't have the greatest skill set, but what he didn't have was skills. He was a really smart player. Really worked hard, and he was pretty good for them.
No, he's a solid player for a long time. Kind of a heart and soul type of guy, fan favorite, especially for the Eagles, and lunch pail type of guy that really put in the work and was very productive for a long time. Didn't really stand out stat wise or athleticism wise, but he's really solid for a long time.
Yeah, in his prime, he was a pretty good threat for them.
No, he was really good for a few years there. So I think to lose him though, that'll be a pretty big loss for them. But they also got nose tackle Benny Logan.
Man, this guy can eat up so much space. He's a big dude. To lose him, that's going to hurt in the run game a little bit. I think he's a really good player for them. I was pretty shocked that they didn't keep him. Obviously, with the salary cap, they were a little bit tight on money. They felt like they can let him go, but, this guy was really good at playing the run. He ate up a lot of space. He demanded double teams at time, which really helped up other guys on defensive line. Guys like Fletcher Cox to go get the quarterback. So this will hurt a little bit.
It'll hurt a little bit, but their defensive line is the strength of this defense anyway. And like you said, Fletcher Cox is one of the best defensive linemen in the league.
Yeah.
And he can certainly make up for any loss that Benny Logan provides. They have a lot of really good defensive linemen there. And Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, gets the most out of defensive linemen. So I think they'll be fine there. They lost Nolan Carroll and Leodis McKelvin at cornerback as well. Nolan Carroll was kind of the number one corner by default last year.
By default.
He really wasn't. He was solid, but he wasn't really spectacular anyway last year for them. And again, cornerback's a huge weakness for this defense. So to lose him, I'm not sure it's a really big deal. They really just need to upgrade that position.
Yeah, I agree. Basically, everything you said.
Right.
Yeah.
There's really nothing else to say. They're solid, but they really need an upgrade.
Yeah.
So they also lost Ryan Matthews. They cut him recently, running back. Again, he's always injured. He's a very talented running back, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And we'll get to their additions later, but they add some guys at the running back position, so his time is kind of up. So
2 years ago he had a pretty decent season for the Eagles. Last year, like we said, he was pretty inconsistent. I think he was owed $4 million in salary this year. For at that price, they weren't really just willing to meet that with his production. It hasn't really been up to how much he was getting paid, so it makes sense cutting him. But recently, they just traded wide receiver Jordan Matthews. We were talking about last year, he was the number one guy. He's been very consistent for them. I think, they
felt comfortable moving on because apparently Nelson Aguilar's had a really good training camp. So obviously, and we'll get to their additions later.
They
added some guys at wide receivers. So they felt like they didn't need him. And they got cornerback Ronald Darby in the deal. We already talked about it in another video, so if you guys want to check that out, we have that up already. So check that out if you want to hear more about that trade. But they got rid of Jordan Matthews and they bring in Ronald Darby, kind of help that cornerback position. So I mean, again,
I think it's a good trade.
Yeah, it's a good trade. Again, if you want more of our in-depth thoughts on that, check out our video for that.
Yeah.
But let's go on to their additions here because they really renovated that wide receiver core, getting Alshon Jeffrey on a 1-year deal and Torrey Smith.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey is a great signing for them. He's going to step in right away, be their number 1 wide receiver. I mean, when this guy is healthy, he's a top 10 wide receiver in the league. Man. He is really good. I mean, he's like 6'3". He's great in the red zone. He's a great deep ball threat. I mean, this is a guy that can do it all. And, I mean, this is a great addition for Carson Wentz going into his sophomore year. To have a weapon like Alshon Jeffrey,
that's huge.
I think they're going to ball out.
I mean, Alshon Jeffrey's the guy. He's had some struggles with injuries and staying on the field.
Yeah.
But when he's on the field, man, he's almost unstoppable at times because you can throw pretty much anywhere around him. You can have perfect coverage on him, and he can still get the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a really tough cover, and Carson Wentz going to have a lot of fun, trying to throw jump balls and into traffic with him there. And, like we said, he's a pretty good deep threat, too, because even though he's not the fastest guy in the world, he's maybe the best jump ball wide receiver in the league, so you can just throw it up to him, and it doesn't matter who's guarding him, he's going to go up and get it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Carson Wentz is a really good weapon there, and then a guy like Torrey Smith, who's more of a deep threat. He's kind of, lost a step or two since leaving Baltimore, but he's still the guy that can go deep anytime you want. And, he makes some plays.
He's another playmaker for this offense. He's really explosive. So I think pairing him as a number 2 wide receiver opposite Alshon Jeffrey, I mean, this is a much better receiving corps than it was last year.
Really
so I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this offense with a bunch of new guys in here. I think they'll do really good. But continuing, obviously they upgraded a wide receiver. They also upgraded a running back. You got LeGarrette Blount, who is this great power back. He's going to run in between the tackles, and he's going to really wear down that defense late in the game. That's really what he does. He's not flashy. He's not, got really good speed, but he's going to run through people. Going into the third quarter, fourth quarter, defense is going to be tired. That's when you start to see LeGarrette Blount play his best because he's going to break off some tackles, and he's going to really just help with the running game a lot. They haven't had a power back, a workhorse guy in a while, so this is a good addition.
No, they really haven't had a guy they can really give the ball to 20-25 times since LaShawn McCoy. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to do that anyway because Doug Peterson, their head coach, likes to do a running back by committee approach anyway. And again, they have guys like Darren Sproles there who can really make plays in the backfield. So, again, like you said, LeGarrette Blount's kind of going to play that role where late in the game when the defense is tired, he can just go in and just pound a defense down to the ground. And in the goal line, he's a really big goal line threat. I mean, he had 17 touchdowns last year with the Patriots. 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's
I undersold it. I mean, he gets in the end zone a lot.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's a guy who can, for fantasy leagues out there, I mean, he has the potential to get a lot of touchdowns this year. And it'll be interesting to see, though, whether he can really perform outside of a Bill Belichick system. Because, I mean, he hasn't really performed outside of New England, so we'll see how that works out here.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to rush for 1,100 yards like he did in the Patriots because it's just 2 completely different teams.
Right.
But, I mean, this is a guy that can easily get double-digit touchdowns this year. I think he'll get 10 to 15 carries a game and really just wear down the defense.
That's all they're going to really ask of him to do anyway.
Yeah.
So they made some other additions here, especially on the defensive side. First off, getting defensive end Chris Long, who's a pass rushing specialist. Had a all-right year for the Patriots last year. I mean, really didn't really produce many sacks, but he was still solid. He can still get to the quarterback once in a while, and he's a pretty good veteran leader as well.
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to be able to step in and replace Connor Barwin's production, so I think that works out well for them. They also traded for defensive tackle Timmy Jernigan. Obviously, with losing Benny Logan, they needed a nose tackle, and this guy's going to step in and fill that spot.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's an athletic defensive end for them. Defensive tackle. I mean, he played in a 3-4 in Baltimore, but he can play defensive tackle in a 4-3 for the Eagles. So, again, he replaces Benny Logan. He maybe not be as good as a Benny Logan, but he kind of provides a similar skill set for them. And, I mean, he's still a solid player, so I like that addition for them.
Yeah, then they also, with the trade from Jordan Matthews, they ended up getting cornerback Ronald Darby. Obviously, cornerback was a position of need, and I'm really high on this guy. I think he could step in and make a good impact for this team. He had a really good rookie season. His second season, he kind of fell off a little bit, but I think with a new team, I think he can really have a productive year.
Yeah, maybe a new change of scenery will really be the trick for him, and we'll see how that works out. He's got a lot of talent, obviously.
Yeah, he likes to play man. He likes to play press coverage. He's going to be in your face. He's a guy that's going to be a big upgrade over cornerbacks they had last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's really not much they can go up from what they had last year. But, kind of going from free agency to the draft, I mean, the draft was a big piece for them. They gave him a first-round pick in order to get Carson Wentz, but they're able to get right back because they trade Sam Bradford to the Minnesota Vikings. So they did have Minnesota's first-round pick.
Yep.
And with that pick, they got pass rusher Derek Barnett in the first round, who, I mean, he was very productive in college in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And, he's maybe not an exceptional athlete, but he's very productive. He's got great technique. And I think he's a guy who can contribute right away.
Yeah, I think he's going to contribute right away. I really like this guy. Looking at his first preseason action, I think he had 2 sacks, which is really good. I mean, if he can be productive, to pair him opposite of Fletcher Cox and Fletcher Cox, defensive end, I think those two can really form a really good duo. Obviously pass rushing is one of the most important things in defense, and they're in the NFC East, so they really need to get after the quarterback. So I thought this was a really good pick. He's really good at rushing the passer.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that he is Reggie White here, but Reggie White went to Tennessee.
Yep.
He's a pass rusher in Tennessee.
And then he went to the Eagles.
So maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not, but if he can be a guy that can get you about double-digit sacks a year, I think that they'll take that right here.
Yeah.
I think he's got all the talent in the world to do that.
And then in the second round, they ended up taking possibly the best cornerback in the draft before he had the devastating Achilles injury. But they took Sidney Jones, and this guy, he looks like your prototypical number 1 shutdown corner. If he can stay healthy, this is going to be a huge addition to the defense.
Man, I feel really bad for him, that Achilles injury, because Achilles, rather than a knee injury, I mean, you can recover from a knee injury nowadays.
Yeah.
And Achilles is a total different thing.
It is.
So, I mean, hopefully he can recover from that. And, I mean, he might not come back 100%. He might lose some speed and, explosiveness as an athlete. But he's got pretty much everything else you want from a cornerback. I mean, this guy's big time. Transitioning from a guy who may not play this year for the Eagles to a guy that will play for them. The third round, they got another cornerback, Rasul Douglas, who he's got really good size for the position, really good ball skills, but really only had 1 year of quality production. But what do you see from this pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a guy that, since Sidney Jones might not be able to play this year, this is a guy that it's going to add cornerback depth to this team. Like you said, he's got really good ball skills, and one of the most important things in defense is to create turnovers, so I think that will help them. Like you said, though, he's only had 1 really good year in college. Maybe he just developed later, or maybe he's a 1-year wonder. It'll be interesting to see how that will turn out. But then in the 4th round, they ended up adding more running back depth. They ended up going with Donald Pumphrey, and this is an undersized back, but I mean, I think in the 4th round, it's a good pick.
No, in the 4th round, I mean, to me, he reminds me a lot of Darren Sproles, and I think that's what they're thinking with this pick as a replacement for Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
I heard that they were really looking to get Tariq Cohen, but the Bears traded up and got Tariq Cohen before the Eagles could get him. So basically, this is kind of we weren't able to get
backup option.
Right, this is a backup option for him in the 4th round, and he's got a lot of the similar skills to Darren Sproles. He's undersized, but he's very shifty. He's a guy who can be a receiving back out of the backfield, create matchup problems. So it'll be interesting what will happen there, but. Darren Sproles is getting up there in age too.
He is getting older. So
he's still productive though. So maybe they'll put him on. Maybe they'll just redshirt him this year and maybe hope that he doesn't have to play that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like him though, so he'll be interesting to see. But in the 4th round, they also got wide receiver, kind of help depth on that wide receiving core, getting Matt Collins, who, he's a really good deep threat. And he can bring some special team ability too.
Yeah, obviously, it never hurts to have too many playmakers. With Darren Sproles getting older, I'm not sure if they're going to continue to use him as their special teams returner. So they could go with Matt Collins, maybe they go with Donald Pumphrey to get them some playing time. But I think this is a good late-round pick for them to add.
Yeah, again, if you can get some special teams out of him and, as a quality wide receiver, that's not much. I mean, that's about what you'll ask for from a 4th-round pick. So I think it's a good pick.
You'll be able to sit and learn from guys like Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, so that's a pretty good situation.
And if Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith do end up leaving after this year, because they're both on 1-year deals, I believe, then, this is a guy that could potentially be a good replacement for them. So we'll see what happens there. But, going from the draft, to training camp, we've kind of gone through preseason a little bit here, but, some of the storylines I'm looking forward to is Carson Wentz. Can he take that next step? Because they've really bolstered the weapons for him. So really, to me, he started off really hot last year, but kind of cooled down as the year progressed. Some of that's on the receiving core. Some of that might be on him.
Yeah.
Personally, so we'll see if he can take that next step. For me, that's kind of the biggest storyline for the Eagles this year.
Yeah, I think it's really early on in his career. You can call me crazy. This could be a make or break year because honestly, they added so many good weapons.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of pressure on him to perform, and if he underperforms. There's no more excuses that you don't have the weapons. The Eagles, they have a defense that's ready to contend. They're in a loaded NFC East division, but I think there's a lot of pressure on him to really do well a lot better in his second year. Obviously, he showed promise in his rookie year. I think he can progress into a lot better player this year, but sometimes that pressure can get to players.
Yeah, maybe he could have a sophomore slump. I mean, we've seen it before with some of these younger quarterbacks, but I think he's got the right mindset. He's got all the tools to be a really quality quarterback in the NFL, and I think he's a guy that could. I think he's going to take that next step forward this year. Maybe not a big step forward and be an elite quarterback or anything like that. But I think he'll be solid again this year and really take that next step forward. But
I'm thinking Eagles fans though, they're expecting playoffs. Though.
Yeah, no.
I mean, this team is ready, so you say you might not take a big step, but I think they're kind of expecting him to take a really big step, especially with the weapons they added.
I mean, I wouldn't try and put too much pressure on him right now. Again, he's in his second year, and they put a lot of pressure on Donovan McNabb, and Don McNabb was a really good quarterback for them for a long time, and they kind of never Eagles fans kind of had a love-hate relationship with him. I hope that doesn't develop with Carson Wentz because, again, if he doesn't take that next step forward, he's still a young quarterback. Got to give him some time still. But I think he's got the weapons now this year to where he can really step up and have a really good year for them.
Yeah. Another interesting storyline is who's gonna be the guy that steps up at cornerback for them. Obviously, that was their weakest position last year. For me, I think going into this year, it's got to be Ronald Darby.
Yep.
He's a young player that's showed that he can really excel in this league in his rookie season. So I think this is a guy that they're kind of leaning on, especially with Sidney Jones, injured. I think they're kind of hoping that he could take over that number one role from Nolan Carroll.
Yeah, it's got to be Ronald Darby. I mean, they basically traded away a third-round pick in order to get him. And their number one
Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, and their best receiver from last year.
Yeah.
So they have high expectations for him. I think he can step up. He's got a lot of talent. He played well in his rookie year. He was kind of up and down in his second year. So we see if he can bounce back with a new team, a new organization, new scheme. But it's got to be him, and maybe Rasul Douglas can maybe step up. I mean, they really don't have that many options, though, at cornerback.
Yeah, it's a third-round pick, though. I'm not sure how much I'm expecting Rasul Douglas to contribute right away. He's kind of the guy that, maybe into his second year will have more of an effect on the defense. Right. But his rookie year, they'll use him situationally from time to time. Maybe if he has a really strong training camp, he could take a firm hold on the number 2 spot. But for right now, that cornerback position is kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, they did a lot to investing into that cornerback position to really make it better this year. But I don't think they've really done enough for me personally. So it might be another tough year for the Eagles at the cornerback position, but there are some young guys on this team. If Sidney Jones can be as good as he was promised to be in the draft next year, because he probably won't be able to play this year, let's be honest. So if he can be really good, I think they're set, 2 years from now to have a really good deal at the cornerback position.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's kind of go from the cornerback position to the running back position because they signed LeGarrette Blount, cut Ryan Matthews. I mean, they have a lot of options there at the running back position.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think, obviously they got LeGarrette Blount. He's going to be your first down back. Second down back. I think Darren Sproles will be their third down back. He's more of a receiving guy, but they used him a lot this year. They really like him, and I don't blame him. I mean, you give the guy, you give the ball in his hands in open space, he's going to make big plays happen. So I think it'll be interesting to see how LeGarrette Blount transitions from being on this Patriots team that won the Super Bowl to the Eagles. The Eagles do have a really good offensive line, but they don't have Tom Brady.
Right. They have Carson Wentz, and they're kind of hoping Carson Wentz can beat Tom Brady. Not likely, but I mean, I think they have a really good running back situation for Carson Wentz, though, because they have a lot of guys, even some of their backups that maybe aren't as high profile as LeGarrette Blount or Darren Sproles. They have some guys that can step in and play well for them too.
Yeah, they got Wendell Smallwood, who is a really young running back that they like. He's got some promise.
And Donald Pumphrey, obviously, he's more of a Darren Sproles type of guy, but maybe they do some stuff that involve him in the offense this year. Yeah. So they have a lot of options at running back this year. I think they're going to go, again, another running back by committee type of approach, but I think that could work out for this team because they have so many options here that it could be, pick your poison basically for opposing defenses.
I think the biggest thing in this running back group I'm most interested to watch is if LeGarrette Blount can produce outside of a Patriot system because if you look at his stats, he really hasn't. No. They didn't really pay him too much, which is okay. But they're kind of expecting him to really be this power back, a guy that can help put some balance back in this offense.
Yeah, and if he can produce anywhere near what he did with the New England Patriots, I mean, that's a huge signing for them, and that'll make that running back situation even look even better. Yeah. But I think the Eagles overall, they have a lot of pieces where they can contend for a playoff spot right away, and the NFC East is wide open. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot to discuss here with the Philadelphia Eagles. But thanks, guys, for watching. That was our preview for the Eagles.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more NFL previews, please leave a like, subscribe. We appreciate all the support you've been giving us so far. So thank you, guys.
Yep, and with the Eagles now officially done, all of our previews for the NFC East are done. So keep a lookout for our predictions video coming up soon.